Hi guys, I've just got off from the wonderful Hitesh, founder of Gibie, an Ayurvedic towel company. His insights into exactly what goes into the dyeing process and into the fashion process in India, Southeast Asia, where the majority of our garments here in the UK are made, is absolutely unparalleled. I am aware of what the challenges are in the industry, but I definitely didn't think they were still as rife as they very apparently are. His dyes are herbal, and this is part of this Ayurvedic process. He even mentioned, actually, once we'd just finished recording, that the dye in which he uses on his towels is so pure that you could drink it and no harm would come to you. That is definitely not the case for everything else in the dyeing industry when it's chemical based. So his insights on that sustainability piece, and also a startup business that's so early on in its game, is less than 2 years old, is really, really eye-opening, particularly the fact that he's done 3 years worth of market research before he's started selling. So I hope you enjoy this one as much as I did. Without further ado, here he is.
So Hitesh, thank you ever so much for coming and joining us today. I think you've had a fascinating career so far. How did you end up from trading and market research and corporate strategy to taking the leap and setting up Gibie?
Oh yeah. First of all, thanks, Hannah, for having me. It has been quite interesting journey, I would say, for myself. I've been, kind of always seen business from my family. We in my family we have like more than 100-year-old family business, which I apparently didn't do, though I was kind of being forced. But I decided to start something from scratch. Always I was always looking for something that is meaningful for me, while I was trying different jobs and different things. And back in India, when I was working with textiles, in textiles industry, that's when I came across the things that really shook me. It was really horrifying to see the textile industry, how it works, and back in South Asia, pretty much everywhere. The pollution is creating the conditions of the factory worker. And their norms are not being followed, though they are being said they are followed. When you are working in the textile industry on field, you actually get to see the things that are hidden from rest of the world. And that's when after working there for a few years, I thought, like, and I can't be part of such industry, make my living out of such industry where factory workers are dying because of those things. So that led me to look for alternative. One way was either you leave the industry. Other thing was try and do your bit to change the industry. And that's what I thought. Let me try at least. Whether I succeed or not, that's a different thing. But let me try and see if I can bring some change. And that led me to looking for more sustainable, healthier way of dyeing, especially the fabrics. And while doing my research, I came across this Ayurvedic dyeing practice, which was there in India for more than 5,000 years. Amazing technique, all herbs, all natural, good for the skin. And there's a science behind where, it keeps your, mood enhanced. There's a lot of things into it. So I dig deeper into the process, trying to understand what it is. I started working with the dyeing units to see how we can bring this into the modern world, because processes were there. There were few people who were actually making textiles and selling those textiles, Ayurvedic textiles. But the processes were, they were like kind of bucket dyeing. You can't scale those processes. They were as such. So started working with the factory and dyeing units to make them scalable, to the extent that it can be brought to the market, to rest of the world. and over the years, it took me around 3 years to come up with final products. And towels are the things that we started with, and that's how the Gibie was born, to sell those Ayurvedic dyeing techniques. So as we so often say, we are not selling towels, we are selling Ayurvedic dyeing, and the benefits that comes along. So yeah, I mean, that was that was kind of my journey.
Your business is obviously, its USP is centered around this 1,000-year-old practice, which is just such a wonderful story, and it's truly sustainable. But how do you ensure that sustainability flows through the other areas of your business, and that it isn't just towels are sustainable and that's it?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We right from the start, right from the production process, we the certification bodies and those kind of things, we make sure that we go to the factory and see that the production is happening in the right way. All the norms are followed. There's no child labor. The factory workers are being paid. Because also we have seen, because while working in the industry, I've seen, you can hire third parties, but there are loopholes that not everyone knows about. So we make sure that those things are taken care. Now the difficult thing is, it is very, everyone wants certification and to be sure, and which is a good thing. I mean, I would say that these third parties are doing a good job when it comes to making sure. But again, this, you can extend those things and make it further better, and that's why we make sure that we go to the factory, we are there with the workers. I have literally trimmed my towels when they were being made. I packaged the towels, and and experienced what workers go through in the process, which is amazing. And our aim is of course always to make sure that ethical bit and the sustainability are taken care of by the company. We are for future, we are even planning how we can further improve our towels in terms of raw materials that we use, and how can they be made more sustainable. Of course, there's for small businesses, there's always challenge to keep the prices uh, down, which becomes a bit of a task when you are trying to do everything together. But I guess that's the reason why we exist, so we have to do this.
Yeah, I can't imagine how challenging that is. So, in terms of sustainability of the textile industry, it's obviously a very big growing movement at the moment. We're seeing more and more businesses, whether it's using recycled plastic or what different elements of sustainability. What do you think is the most important step if someone was to look at starting up a sustainable business?
I guess, I mean, I would say there's no one important step, but then aligning entire supply chain. Supply chain sounds like very big uh, term, but it's about making sure when you start the production process, right from there till the end, how you can I wouldn't say that you should be 100% sustainable right from the start. Sometimes it is almost impossible. Either you exist or you be sustainable, but you can consistently working upon improving the ethical and sustainability aspect of your supply chain. You can reach to that point, and you can be sustainable. It is also a learning process. You realize that, oh my god, I could have used this, and that happened with us actually. We use recycled boxes for our delivery process, but the inserts which we use were not recyclable, not recycled, which we realized later, but the production was done. Now then we have to tell our customer that the production has been done. So rather than throwing everything, it's better we you know uh, we get over with this inventory, we send them over to our customers, and then we'll make sure that next time. So there are a lot of things, a lot of aspect that you have to take care of, and you might realize, oh, okay, that does not go as we planned. So let's, from the next production, let's make sure that we can improve on the sustainability part. And I guess this is for anything in the business, when you try to improve upon as you grow.
That's fascinating that you communicated that to your customers, though, and you acknowledged your mistake. A lot of businesses don't do that. They glide over it, they ignore it, but actually taking ownership for that error.
Yeah, I guess that's very important, and then people do understand. Last week, in fact, I called one of our customers just to get the feedback, and he was driving, and he said that I have 5 minutes. I'll just quickly give you feedback. And well, the 5 minutes were over, and then I thought, I asked him, like, it's 5 minutes are over. Sorry, you're driving, and I don't want to carry on. And he said, no, I've parked my car. I really want to talk to you guys and give my feedback. He parked the car, and he was talking for, I guess, 20 minutes. And discussing and sharing why he bought the product and how they're amazing and what was the idea. So someone caring, stopping in middle of highway and and giving you feedback, that really makes you think that it's worth it.
That's wonderful. It's really nice of him to do it. People would pay thousands for that kind of market research. So it's wonderful that he gave it to you, and I imagine he was very honest about what he loved and what he thought you could improve on. So that's a stellar customer, one you want to keep hold of.
True, very true.
So how long have you been going now?
So we started in 2019.
Right before the pandemic, lucky you.
Right before the pandemic, but most of the period till 2020, we were kind of doing our market research. We were talking to people, sending over the samples and getting the feedbacks and those kind of things. And then by around middle of 2020 to end of 2020, we more aggressively into selling.
So what's been your strategy for entering the market? Because you are a small business, towels are something you can get in most home department stores. What's been your strategy for kind of cutting through the noise?
Oh, so we, from start, we have focused on D2C. Of course, with pandemic, I've literally seen the change in the digital environment and the marketing side with so many brands coming on. Obviously, the costs have gone up, but we have been, kind of, as I said earlier, we have been selling our story of herbal dyeing and not selling the towels, and that's the most important thing, I guess, that helps us to cut the noise. People might not be, because towels are something that people do not buy like not even every 6 months, and maybe not even a year. So it's not very fast moving product, which is fine with us. We do not want to push people to buy too much. But when people see something which is actually making a difference, or which is a different product with novel idea behind it, so they might buy, thinking that, I do not need towel for now, or maybe I can gift it for someone. And so I guess that's the thing. Ayurvedic dyeing is the idea.
Yeah, and that makes sense. You need like a marketing campaign like mattresses had a few years ago, where it said you must replace your mattress every 8 years. You need the equivalent for towels. You should replace your towels every 2 years, or whatever the So you mentioned that cost per clicks have gone up and that you're focusing on your D2C. So does that mean that you've been doing social media marketing and PPC? Are there any other forms of digital marketing you've been trying?
We've been actually recently started focusing more on developing our organic channels with emails, with of course get increasing our engagement on social media platform organically. How we are doing is we are promoting Ayurveda, and that's we want to build a community around Ayurveda, people who follow and believe in Ayurvedic practice, so that we can actually give some value, real value to the customers. It's not just that you have to come and showing the products every time and buy our products. So that's not what we want to do. We have recently onboarded our Ayurveda expert. She will give advice on Ayurveda anytime to anyone without charging any fee. So it's kind of that's something that we are doing for the community. We do not want to make money from it. It's just that people should understand the benefits and how they can live happy and healthy life. That's the motive. So yeah, I would say the focus at the moment is, along with of course PPC and Facebook and Google Ads. So focus is to develop a community organically and nurture that community. Yeah,
that's a really lovely offering. I think it's not just noble of you, but I think you're going after the business for the right reason. Everything you've described to me today has been very intrinsic. You've been very much trying to create a community and look at it as putting the planet before business and profit. That's not what you're looking for. It's not just noble, but it's endearing as well to the product and the name. So I'm sure it will be a success. I mean, it is already proving a success. I'm moving house next month, so I can see that a new towel set is coming my way. Lastly, what is your favorite brand in the e-commerce space right now that's obviously not Gibie?
Last week, I was listening to podcast while I was in the gym, and I came across this brand called Fable and Main. And I was just listening to their founders. That's it's an Ayurvedic brand, and they're more into hair care and beauty Ayurveda. Very nice. I like their branding, the approach towards Ayurveda, and the way they communicate. So it's a really nice, and their story is nice, and then their approach towards coming to the market and reaching out to the stores, the physical stores were there. Again, their focus, but along with that, they are doing a very good online marketing as well. So yeah, I guess Fable and Main would be my favorite DTC brand.
I like it. It's a very good reason why. And if you could ask anyone a question, so the person who's probably going to be on this show next, what would you like to ask them about digital marketing and e-commerce?
I guess I'm very much intrigued by online shopping at the moment. Live shopping, sorry. So I would ask him or her about the future of live shopping and how we can jump on the trend before others, and how these future online shopping or future prospects, how they be fit for brand like ours, because we are not a fast fashion brand, but we do want to reach out to the people, for good, which becomes a sort of a counterintuitive thing. You don't want to, you want to sell, but again you don't want to oversell or sound salesy, so that because you are a sustainable brand, you want to make sure that you're taking care of the environment, and then you are going on and selling the products. So it is a bit counterintuitive in the sense.
Well, thank you ever so much for your time today, Hitesh, and it's really interesting, your area of industry and the experience you've had with understanding exactly what has been going on in the textile industry and the dyeing process. It certainly opened my eyes to something that I feel like I should have been aware of in hindsight, but of course hindsight's a wonderful thing. So it will definitely be something I'm looking at going forward.
All right. Thanks, Anna. Thanks for having me.